ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकथा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सौरवनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान संललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकांत राधाकांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयति गिरिं यत्कृपा तमहं वन्दे शिवं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्री चैतन्य ईश्वरम्। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। 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 4 4 10 जगर्हसम जगर्हसम सॉरी जगर्हसामर्ष विपन्नया गिरा। जगर्हसामर्ष विपन्नया गिरा। शिवाद्विषं धूमपतश्रमस्वयं धूमपतश्रमस्वयं शिवाद्विषं धूमपतश्रमस्वयं स्वतेजसा भूतगणान् समुत्थितान् निगृह्य देवी जगतो विशृण्वतः निगृह्य देवी जगतो विशृण्वतः जगर्हसामर्ष विपन्नया गिरा। शिवद्विषं धूमपतश्रमस्वयम् स्वतेजसा भूतगणान् समुत्थितान् निगृह्य देवी जगतो विशृण्वतः जगर्ह सामर्श्य विपन्नया गिरा शिवद्विषं धूमपतश्रमः स्वयम् स्वतेजसा भूतगणान् समुत्थितान् निगृह्य देवी जगतो विशृण्वतः जगर्ह सामर्श्य विपन्नया गिरा शिवद्विषं धूमपतश्रमः स्वयम् स्वतेजसा भूतगणान् समुत्थितान् निगृह्य देवी जगतो विशृण्वतः माताजी जगर्ह सामर्श्य विपन्नया गिरा शिवद्विषं धूमपतश्रमः स्वयम् स्वतेजसा भूतगणान् समुत्थितान् निगृह्य देवी जगतो विशृण्वतः Jagarha began to condemn. Sa, she, Amarsha Vipannaya, indistinct through anger. Gira, with words. Shivadvisham, the enemy of Lord Shiva. Dhrumapata, in sacrifices. Shrama, by troubles. Smayam, very proud. Swatejasa, by her order. Bhutaganan, the ghosts. Samudhitan, ready to injure Daksha. Nigrishya, stopped. Nigrishya, stopped. Devi, Sati, Jagataha, in the presence of all. Abhishrinvataha, being heard. Translation purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki. The followers of Lord Shiva, the ghosts were ready. The followers of Lord Shiva, the ghosts were ready to injure or kill Daksha. But Sati, again, the followers of Lord Shiva, the ghosts were ready to injure or kill Daksha. But Sati stopped them by her order. She was very angry and sorrowful, and in that mood she began to condemn the process of sacrificial fruitive activities and persons who are very proud of such unnecessary and troublesome sacrifices. She especially condemned her father, speaking against him in the presence of all. Purport, Srila Prabhupada Ki. The process of offering sacrifices is especially meant to satisfy Vishnu, who is called Yagyesha because he is the enjoyer of the fruits of sacrifice. Bhagavad Gita 5:29 also confirms this fact. The Lord says, Bhoktaram Yagya Tapasam. He is the actual beneficiary of all sacrifices. Not knowing this fact, less intelligent men offer sacrifices for some material benefit. To derive personal material benefits for sense gratification is the reason persons like Daksha and his followers perform sacrifices. Such sacrifices are condemned here as a labor of love without actual profit. This is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam. One may prosecute the Vedic injunctions of offering sacrifices and other fruitive activities. But if by such activities one does not develop attraction for Vishnu, They are useless labors. One who has developed love for Vishnu must develop love and respect for Vishnu's devotees. Lord Shiva is considered the foremost personality among Vaishnavas, Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu. Thus, when Sati saw that her father was performing great sacrifices but had no respect for the greatest devotee, Lord Shiva, she was very angry. This is fitting. When Vishnu or a Vaishnava is insulted, one should be angry. Lord Chaitanya, who always preached non-violence, meekness, and humility, also became angry when Nityananda was offended by Jaga and Madhai, and he wanted to kill them. When Vishnu or a Vaishnava is blasphemed or dishonored, one should be very angry. Narottam Das Thakur said, Krodha Bhakta Dveshi Jane. We have anger, and that anger can be a great quality when directed against a person who is envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead or his devotee. One should not be tolerant when a person is offensive towards Vishnu or a Vaishnava. The anger of Sati towards her father was not objectionable, for although he was her father, he was trying to insult the greatest Vaishnava. Thus, Sati's anger against her father was quite applaudable. Om Jnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Vanchakalpatarupesya Kripa Sindhubhyo Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namah. Take the blessings of all the devotees, especially His Grace Kishore Prabhu, so that I can speak something to purify myself. So, there's a very wonderful verse. I mean, the mood is not wonderful, but it's a wonderful verse because it's Srimad Bhagavatam. So, first thing is Srimad Bhagavatam is spoken on transcendental platform. Scriptures are actually spoken on absolute platform. I'm simply repeating the words of exalted devotees. I have no realization or I have nothing. So, Srimad Bhagavatam is spoken on absolute platform. Every verse of Srimad Bhagavatam is actually glorifying Prema Bhakti. So, however, because it's spoken on the platform of pure goodness, in order to understand Srimad Bhagavatam, we need to associate with devotees. We need to associate with devotees, we need to associate with pure devotees. And just like the example is given, then when Lord Ramchandra, he actually wrote in a cryptic language, right, to Lakshman when Surpanaka came. Lord Ramchandra, I mean, externally it sounded like the words read like marry her, but actually in a cryptic language it was actually cut off her nose. So other than Lakshman, nobody could understand that because only someone who is who's favored by the Supreme Lord can actually understand Swayam Eva Sparityada. Only such a person can understand the words of the Lord and understand the words of his pure devotees. So that's why it's very important not only to associate with pure devotees, but to follow what instructions pure devotees give. That only then can, I'm speaking for myself, only then can one understand Srimad Bhagavatam. So, there are different ways to look at this purport. From the first way to look at this purport is right now, a very disturbing, agitating scene is going on. If you look from an external perspective, it's a very disturbing scene going on if you're present in that arena. So, from the outset, Bhagavatam is saying that in this world, disturbing situations are very common, are to be expected, but at the same time, even in that disturbing situation, it is very much possible to progress in pure devotional service, because Srila Prabhupada said nothing can stop someone from progressing in Krishna consciousness. So, because in this assembly, uh, Lord Shiva, although Lord Shiva has been blasphemed and Lord Shiva is not present, but Prabhupada is glorifying Sati's anger for against Daksha because Lord Shiva is not being honored. So, if we remember a pure devotee, due to whatever reason, if you remember a pure devotee favorably, then it is said that you get 1/6 of his qualities. Of course, it's not immediate, it's not like an electric shock, it takes time, but it's very purifying. So that's why Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Guru Vaishnav Bhagavan. If you want your goal of becoming Krishna conscious to be fulfilled, then one must remember before any activity, Guru, Vaishnav, and Bhagavan, spiritual master, the devotees, and the Supreme Lord. So it is possible to make advancement in any situation. That's what we see from Srila Prabhupada. That Prabhupada always, you see in any purport, Prabhupada will speak about the perspective, what is the exact context. You see, Prabhupada's purports are exactly according to what the translation is. So Prabhupada is directly addressing the context. At the same time, Prabhupada is glorifying pure devotional service. So one must always keep pure devotional service in the forefront of his consciousness. Otherwise, it's very easy to become distracted by external things. So unless one works towards attaining pure devotional service constantly, then either internal enemies or external distractions can throw one off the path. And the key to actually always mm, see things from pure devotional perspective is actually the instructions of the great devotees, and especially the songs of the previous acharyas and the pastimes of the previous acharyas. So here Sati became very angry because just like as Syama Krishna Prabhu was speaking yesterday, that when one performs sacrifices, when one performs austerities without considering the benefactory of those austerities, then what happens is those sacrifices are condemned. Prabhupada says they are a useless labor. Shrama eva hi kevalam. Shrama eva hi kevalam. So ultimate benefactory is Krishna. Janmashtami is coming. So Balram Jayanti is coming. The ultimate beneficiary is Krishna. So if one always is conscious of the fact that Krishna is the enjoyer, the only enjoyer. The Prabhupada is quoting verse 529. A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. So the key to being in full consciousness of Krishna is to understand, to act with the consciousness that Krishna is the ultimate beneficiary. So when one is fully convinced that Krishna is the only beneficiary and acts for Krishna's pleasure, and very important, very important, in this purport Prabhupada is saying that one must develop love and respect for Vishnu's devotees. This is very important. Because if one does not develop love for Vishnu's devotees, then one's love for Vishnu, one's love for Krishna is questionable. You see in our, this is Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, you see in an altar, there is one Krishna, everyone else is devotee. Even Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, yes, Krishna and Balaram, but we're worshipping in the mood of the devotee. We're keeping 5 acharyas and keeping Tulsi Devi or Vrinda Devi, Srimati Radharani. So the whole mood is Bhakta Bhav. Because without Bhakta, without devotee, Krishna is never pleased. Krishna is never pleased. So here the foremost Vaishnav is Lord Shiva. And just because Daksha spoke one word, just because Daksha disrespected Lord Shiva, one may think it is very insignificant that he just spoke, sorry, not one word, he spoke very envious or very powerful words against Lord Shiva. Just because of that, everything is spoiled. Everything is spoiled. Actually, in the Prahlad Maharaj Prasang, the Prahlad Maharaj glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam, when the how Hiranyakashipu is persecuting Prahlad Maharaj, when that particular episode is being described, Bhagavatam is saying that even teasing a devotee, speaking for myself, even a teasing a devotee can be so dangerous. As Prabhupada said, that it can destroy all of one's austerities, all of one's opulences. Why? Because when you tease a devotee, then subtly, very subtly, even though it may not be an offense, but in the corner of one's heart, one is actually proclaiming the fact that, oh, I am better than him. I am better than him. So then you take shelter of false ego. So then naturally it becomes difficult to recognize that Krishna is the only enjoyer. So that's why Trinadapi Sunichana is a very easy verse to recite or remember, speaking for myself, but it's a very difficult verse to apply because Trinadapi Sunichena, the four aspects of Trinadapi Sunichena, these implications or its expansions, its application is far and wide. So that's why it's very difficult to actually always apply that verse. Because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can only be pleased when we apply, when we always follow his instructions. Actually, all of Mahaprabhu's instructions, all of Mahaprabhu's dealings, all of Mahaprabhu's activities are actually a personification of this verse. Trinadapi Sunichara. That's why it's not easy. It's not easy to be humble. Only a very exalted devotee can actually be humble. Because an exalted devotee, always, one who always sees Krishna, he can always be humble. He can always be humble. So it's not a cheap thing. That's why actual humility is very high. And the actual humility is actually the last verse of mm, Upadeshamrit. I mean, sorry, Shikshashtakam. Ashlishava Padaratam Pinashtuma. Which means that, my Lord, whether you give me mercy or you don't, it doesn't matter. But I will keep serving. I will keep pleasing you 24 hours a day. Bhaktivinoda Thakur takes it one level further. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, the troubles encountered in your service, my Lord, is the cause of my greatest happiness. It's my greatest happiness. So anyhow, it's very, very high, but meditating on these prayers gives us some glimpse into the glory of our previous acharyas. Actually, the Srimad Bhagavatam is a glorification of Krishna's devotees. That is Krishna's greatest happiness. The best way to serve Krishna is actually to glorify his pure devotees and to glorify the mood in which his pure devotees serve him. That's what Krishna is. Krishna is Bhavagrahi Janardana. He always accepts the bhava of his pure devotees. He relishes the bhav. So when we glorify the mood of his pure devotees, that pleases Krishna the most. And Krishna immediately advanced himself in that place where the mood of Krishna's pure devotees is glorified. That's why Srila Prabhupada purposefully made us sing Guru Vashtak in Mangalarti. Prabhupada purposefully inaugurated Guru Puja. Why? Because Prabhupada knew that that's the only way by which we can become delivered. We can become delivered. So Prabhupada is glorifying here Sati's anger. So why is Prabhupada glorifying Sati's anger? That's because Sati is doing it here, at least in this situation. Of course, in the previous verse, Sati did not follow Lord Shiva's instruction. But here, Sati is following at least one good quality, I mean, many good qualities, but in this, Sati is personifying one good quality. And what is that good quality? That good quality is actually um, pure attachment for a pure devotee. So, in this situation, she is completely identifying with Lord Shiva. This is the way a Vaishnav should be actually. When a Vaishnav goes anywhere, he should only be concerned about one thing, that number one, is my Guru glorified here? Okay, if my Guru is not glorified, or if Parampara, Guru Tattva is not glorified, then let me glorify. Let me establish his position, and let me establish his teachings. That's very important. So that's why a devotee of ISKCON, a real devotee, must only go to any place to spread Prabhupada's glories, or the instructions of Srila Prabhupada. Otherwise, going anywhere is just a waste of time. It's just a waste of time. So one must have that deep attachment. So that is the glory of Prabhupada disciples. What is the glory of Prabhupada disciples? Their every act, their every activity is actually to spread Prabhupada's teachings, is to represent Srila Prabhupada. And representing Prabhupada is not different from representing Krishna's teachings. Prabhupada glorified his Guru Maharaj, and he said, my Guru Maharaj is so amazing that before anything he used to do, he would always say, if Krishna's mercy is there, if Krishna desires. And Prabhupada said one more thing. Prabhupada said, if anyone could give an article to Guru Maharaj, then Guru Maharaj would just see one thing, that in this article, how many times the word Lord Chaitanya is used, how many times the word Krishna is used. If in every line, every two lines, Krishna is used, Chaitanya is used, my Guru Maharaj will be very pleased. So this shows that the same thing, the same you see in Prabhupada's lectures. You just count how many times Prabhupada uses the word Krishna. How many times? Krishna, 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 Krishna. So this shows that Prabhupada is a perfect representative of his Guru Maharaj. Why? Because his Guru Maharaj's mood is perfectly reflected in his words, in his teachings. So this is a real disciple. Because if we can invest, we all have this tendency to claim something as mine. My laptop, my head, my body, my clothes. If we can somehow claim this mineness towards Guru, towards pure devotees, towards exalted devotees, what will happen is that slowly and slowly we will understand what is their desire, what Prabhupada wants, what Guru wants in any situation. And what is the success of that? The success of developing such a kind of mentality is we become deeply attached to Guru. When you become deeply attached to Guru, deeply attached to Guru Seva, then naturally you become deeply attached to Prabhupada and you become deeply attached to the Lord. So this is very, very important. How we should be attached. That's why the Sati incident is glorified in Srimad Bhagavatam. Sati is a wife of Lord Shiva. So in Vedic culture, wife is supposed to be so chaste to husband that she should not do a single activity without the permission of the husband. In traditional times, wives would, because husbands were very exalted, they were very exalted devotees. So the wife would take remnants of husband. The wife would not go anywhere without the husband's permission. So in the same way, the disciple, Guru disciple should want to come to that, aspire to come to that position, that I want every activity should be according to the desire of my spiritual master, or Guru Tattva. Because all our activities are simply meant to glorify the previous acharyas. And also this is very important for us to remember that we are a preaching movement. So preaching movement means more than what we are saying. Internally, what intentions we have, the way we are doing things, that is the most important thing. That's what gets transferred to the heart of those people to whom we are preaching to, actually. If you see Prabhupada, what is Prabhupada's greatest quality? Prabhupada's greatest quality, I mean, there are many greatest qualities of Prabhupada, but one of Prabhupada's greatest quality is what? His Guru Nishtha. Prabhupada took one instruction of his spiritual master. When Prabhupada came to West to the West, Bhakshanti Thakur did not speak about establishing a movement. Bhakshanti Thakur did not establish about building temples. Bhakshanti Thakur spoke about just printing books. So Prabhupada was very, um, you can say, even to one extent, very fanatical about distribution of transcendental literature. And as a result of that, what happened? Because he was so much attached to his guru's instruction, that's why today ISKCON is going on. Because so many Prabhupada disciples, they are so much attached to Prabhupada and Prabhupada's instruction. You see some new, even some Western devotee, actually one Prabhupada disciple, Mother Kulangana, she is used to uh, devotees say, I mean, very exalted, my spiritual master says that she went back to Godhead. The last days of her life, even though she was terribly ill, she personally was able to see the spiritual world. So she actually um, was just making Sandesh for Radha Landanishwara. That's the only service she did. But she continued that service till the fag end of her life. Why she continued that service? Because she was too much attached to Prabhupada. And those days, Prabhupada used to go to some temple, Prabhupada used to just glance at the devotees, and Prabhupada used to leave. Devotees had very little personal association. But because they had so much attachment to Prabhupada, they said, no, Prabhupada, my authority gave me this service, means Prabhupada gave me this service, means I can never leave this service until the end of my life. They were so attached. And as a result of that, you can see the quality of their devotion. Even ordinary, you know, quote unquote housewives, what is the quality of their devotion? Like Mother Kulangana's Sandesh is glorified all over the ISKCON world now. Everyone glorifies. Why? Because of her extreme Guru Nishtha. Mm. So we can see that Prabhupada's Guru Nishtha is transferred to his disciples. Right? So we can see that how important it is for us as devotees to concentrate, to focus on our internal cultivation. Internal cultivation is the real power, is the real preaching, is the real propagation. Mhm. And you see that as a result of Prabhupada's extreme Guru Nishtha, Prabhupada did so many things more than what his Guru Maharaj asked. So many more things. And ultimately, what did Prabhupada do? Prabhupada established the glory of a whole parampara. Prabhupada just didn't establish the glory of one or two personalities. Prabhupada established the glory of Saraswati Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Jagannath Babaji. Now it is called, all the acharyas are glorified like anything, like anything. And not only that, Prabhupada glorified the activities of Lord Nityananda by his own personal example, and ultimately the activities of the Supreme Lord in the spiritual world. So you see, like that, sometimes people say that, oh, Prabhupada only gave EBC, but you see that on the principle of what Prabhupada gave, how exalted Prabhupada's disciples are. Like His Holiness Shivaram Maharaj, his books on Vraj Leela is so high, so high. So what does it show? It shows that if one follows Guru very strictly, then one can not only achieve internal perfection, but also one can do incredible things in this world, which can deliver so many people, so many people. Like Prabhupada established so many temples to deliver so many people, and those temples are expanding and expanding and expanding. So that's Prabhupada's infinite glory. So here, coming back to this purport, that the essence of this purport is actually attachment for Krishna's devotees. So we have to constantly cultivate by following Vaishnava etiquette very carefully. One has to not only serve the devotees, but try to please them, serve them with affection. My spiritual master says that if you live in some temple, you live in some place without a desire to lovingly serve the devotees, then that is the root of Vaishnava Path. That is the root of Vaishnava Path. So actually, in one sense, of course, not diluting the principle of authority, but in one sense, actually, um, everyone is our guru. Just like Avanti Brahmana mentioned that everyone is our guru, because everyone is ultimately speaking the glories of Krishna, the instructions of Krishna. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj also told one devotee, very wonderful devotee, told him when he was joining full time, he said that be very careful about committing offenses, because now you're living with the devotees, there is very high chance that you may offend the devotees. So be very careful. If you criticize the devotees, you offend the devotees, then that's all, to be finished. So it will be very, very careful, very, very careful. So this purport speaks about attachment to devotee. So we glorify attachment to Guru, we glorify attachment to Krishna, we glorify attachment to Lord Chaitanya. But actually, the first thing is attachment to the devotees. Being grateful to the devotees, being grateful to devotees association. At least we should tell devotees, well, Prabhu, I'm so grateful for your association. I'm so grateful. At least sometimes devotees may not want to hear, but at least we should, in our mind, we should be able to see that how amazing devotees are, how amazing, how great is their service to Krishna, how great is their chanting of Krishna's names. Only if we do this can we attain, when can we please Krishna, because ultimately we want to live and to act in such a way. Prabhupada says we should act in such a way that Krishna is pleased. That is the highest principle. So Prataparudra Maharaj in Chaitanya Charitamrita is glorified so much. Why? Because he was very affectionately serving all the devotees, pleasing all the devotees. And because he was constantly pleasing all the devotees, he acquired their affection for Lord Chaitanya. That's why when he saw Lord Chaitanya understood. Lord Chaitanya made all exceptions, even though Lord Chaitanya was saying he's a king, he's Prabhupada, I mean, Lord Chaitanya ultimately he gave his full mercy. It's like sometimes Lord's activities are inconceivable. Initially, Lord Chaitanya is saying, how can I meet him? Then later you see Lord Chaitanya is embracing him. Lord Chaitanya is embracing him, and Lord Chaitanya is putting him practically, in one sense, on the level of Swarup Damodar Goswami and Ramananda Roy. It is said that especially these intimate pastimes of Krishna were only discussed between Lord Chaitanya and Ramananda Roy, Swarup Damodar Goswami. Of course, Rupa Goswami and others are conventional devotees are also there. But see, this is the power of, this is the weight of Mahaprabhu's mercy. Because Prataparudra Maharaj, by pleasing all the devotees, he actually acquired their affection for Lord Chaitanya, their faith in Lord Chaitanya. That's why Lord Chaitanya was able to very easily bestow his mercy. Actually, to bestow one's mercy, for someone to bestow mercy, so His Holiness Saladhar Maharaj said, Narad Muni, even though Narad Muni gave full mercy to Dhruva Maharaj, right? But Maharaj mentions that he gave him the way to attain Krishna. He gave him the mantra to attain Krishna. He gave everything to attain Krishna, but he did not give Krishna. He said, I will, Narad Muni told to Dhruva Maharaj that I am giving you the process of attaining Krishna, but ultimately, only by following these instructions will you ultimately attain Krishna. So the qualities of a disciple is very important. Many times we may question devotees, we may question Guru in our mind due to our, speaking for myself, due to materialistic conception. But we have to see what are the qualities of a disciple. This is very important. So actually 1.5.24 speaks about the qualities of a perfect disciple. It says, Narad Muni is speaking about himself to Vyasadeva. He's saying, I was self-controlled. I had no attachment for sport. So self-control means as much as possible, to the extent possible, to control the senses, to control the senses. mm, to the extent possible, and no attachment for sports. So nowadays, what is sports? Sports means actually different levels of course, watching TV, watching movies is sports, but also sports is also, Prabhupada says sports means frivolous nature, frivolous tendency, which means like unnecessary passing comments, unnecessarily wasting one's words. That is attachment for sports. In addition, I was not naughty and I did not speak more than required. This is very difficult. I don't follow this. I don't follow anything, but not speak more than required. So these qualities of a disciple. So if one has these qualities, then on that platform, one can develop the unflinching faith. And on the platform of unflinching faith, uh, one's guru, one's Srila Prabhupada can very easily give their mercy, transfer their mercy. So this is a qualification of a disciple to actually attain the mercy of Guru. So it's again, Guru is not just one's Diksha Guru, but is actually Guru Tattva, which includes the devotees. So there are many pastimes of our previous acharyas in Chaitanya Charitamrita which actually glorify love for devotees, because that is the essence of this verse, that if you can develop love and affection for Krishna's devotees, because yes, it is Krishna's arrangement that Krishna arranged for you to have Guru. One must be fully convinced of this fact. Once one has accepted Guru in one's life, one must be fully convinced that Krishna is Krishna's arrangement. That's why we stress before accepting Guru, pray to Srila Prabhupada, follow Prabhupada's instructions so that Prabhupada can arrange. Because our Guru is already there. It's not by coincidence that we are a disciple of a Guru. Guru is arranged by Krishna. So, and Guru is arranged by Krishna, we should have full faith in that. And similarly, as much as um, Guru is arranged by Krishna, also devotees are arranged by Krishna. The devotional association we are in is arranged by Krishna. So if we don't respect the devotees with whom we are currently situated, that means we are rejecting Krishna's mercy. And only by respecting devotees, by caring for the devotees, by trying to serve the devotees, do we actually attain Krishna's mercy. So there's so many wonderful examples, but actually one of the greatest examples of the power of Vaishnav Seva is actually Panihati festival. Raghunath Das Goswami, if you see, he fed so many devotees. So, and many devotees he did not know also. There were so many devotees Das Goswami did not know also. They came to that festival. And how he served them? He served them like a menial servant. He arranged for everything. And at the end, after all the devotees were actually fed, at the end, Raghunath Das Goswami, he instructed to give coins, to give Lakshmi, to honor all the devotees. Raghunath Das Goswami said that do not tell them that I gave this donation. Do not tell them that I gave this. And then as a result of that, Nityananda Prabhu reciprocated by not only, this is very important, Nityananda Prabhu reciprocated by not only showering his mercy, but he instructed all the devotees that all the devotees that please bestow your mercy upon Raghunath Das Goswami, upon Raghunath Das Goswami, that he may attain the shelter of Lord Chaitanya. So Lord Balaram Jayanti is coming up, is directly showing that Vaishnav Kripa is very important. We need the blessings of the devotees. We don't just need the sanction of our authority, the sanction, but we need the blessings. There's a huge difference in that. As much as there's a difference between doing service and taking responsibility, there is a huge difference between getting sanction from authority and getting the blessings of the authority of the devotees. When you get the blessings of the authority of the devotees, that is completely different. That is different. So that is what we should focus on. is to get the blessings of our authority, to get the blessing. Devotees should be pleased. When devotees are never pleased with me, I know I'm very fallen, but we should aim that devotees should be pleased with us. We see the example of all the great acharyas. Right? They all the devotees were so pleased. They showered their mercy. Like Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami, all the devotees said, "You must write Chaitanya Charitamrita. You must do." Why? All the devotees so pleased with his behavior, with his dealings. So it's very important to learn from the activities. That's why two things are very important. Uh, both are actually interdependent. That uh, the Vaishnav Sadachar, the fine Vaishnav qualities of the devotees and their sadhana, both are integral, both are equally important. So if one is very careful and one always wants the mercy, desiring the mercy of the devotees, one aspires always, oh, let me act in such a way that I can melt the heart of the devotees. If one always wants to cultivate this kind of mood, then he will get the blessing of the shelter of all the devotees. And then what will happen? He will develop the finer Vaishnava qualities. Right? What is called finer Vaishnava quality? Finer Vaishnava quality means that when I forgot the name, but when Shivas Thakur slapped that devotee, what is the name of the devotee? Indrathir, Harichand. When he slapped that devotee, immediately Maharaj Prataprudra told that Harichandan, I mean the great devotee Harichandan, Prabhu, that don't retaliate. Why? You got special mercy. So this is called one finer Vaishnava quality. One is able to see the finer aspects of Vaishnava Sadachar beyond right and wrong. So that can be acquired only by the mercy of the devotee. Because so many devotees so pleased with Maharaj Pratapruta, and Maharaj Pratapruta was seeing the dancing of Lord Chaitanya. So because of that, he could speak such words. He was in such consciousness. So these finer Vaishnava qualities, when they manifest in the heart, then one should understand that one is getting mercy. So that's why we cannot acquire any of these qualities artificially. Any of those 25, you cannot, even you I mean, act like that, but you cannot acquire those artificially. Only by the blessing. We need the blessings of the devotees. So this is the mood of this verse. The actual mood of this verse is actually Vaishnav Seva, the mood of Vaishnav Seva, and goes very high. So the Salada Maharaj says, but it's very high. But the highest mood is to think that all devotees are so exalted, are so wonderful. And higher, even higher than that, is to think all devotees are simply here to deliver me, are to help me. Yes, sometimes I may have to correct them, I have to point out, just like there are spots in the moon also, and I have to point out. But ultimately, since everyone, as long as they continue the process, they'll become pure devotees. Seeing that everyone is, all the devotees are here to bestow their mercy on me, which means that everyone by their activities are trying to teach me. So then one can even glorify, one can have great respect and adoration, even for so-called quote unquote junior devotees. Why? Because they also manifest Krishna's qualities. They manifest Krishna's mercy. They manifest um, wonderful aspects of Krishna consciousness. So this is the mood of this verse, that one must be very much attached to Krishna's devotees, to the Vaishnavas. And in that way, automatically, because if you attain Vaishnava's mercy, then 100% you attain Guru's mercy, for sure. There is no doubt about that. If you're always trying to please devotees, Guru is 100% pleased with you. If Guru is pleased with you, means Prabhupada and Krishna are definitely going to be pleased with you. So if there's one quality, if we can cultivate this consciousness of pleasing devotees, we can see again and again Chaitanya Charitamrita, devotees are glorified. Actually Chaitanya Charitamrita is the subtlety, the finer aspects of Vaishnava dealing. This is one very important teaching of Chaitanya Charitamrita, and Mahaprabhu again and again speaks about, glorifies the qualities of his devotees. Whether it's taking, the uncooked, unpolished rice from the pot of Shuklamra Brahmachari, Ramnadas Goswami, or telling Shivas Thakur that your family is my family. Mahaprabhu is again and again glorifying his devotees. So Mahaprabhu is glorifying devotees. So that's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur said that by reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, even if no other scripture is there, Chaitanya Charitamrita is enough for one to attain perfection because it glorifies devotees and the mood in which devotees deal with the Supreme Lord, and in the same way, devotees are dealing with other devotees. So our vision, our perception is the real thing. Is the real the way we look at devotees, the way we look at the situation is how the situation will look towards us, how the situation will help us to become Krishna conscious. So again, please forgive me, I spoke anything wrong, inappropriate, very unqualified to speak on this verse, but this is what I would like to speak today. But like to add anything, anyone would like to speak anything online? Any question? If here anyone would like to.
What you mentioned about having eternal cultivation, quickly, any theory in how to go from external to indirect cultivation?
Yeah, Bhoji, how to, Subhadrash was saying how to go from external to internal cultivation. Yeah, so Bhoji, the first thing is actually the desire. One should have a deep desire to do that by, there's no secret, by taking shelter of Guru's instructions, by praying. Actually, prayer is the only way. In bhakti, prayer is the only way. Is the way, prayer is the way we came. Ultimately, we came into the association of devotees. Prayer is the way we got initiated, and prayer is the way we will discover all the intimate, the finer aspects of how we should do what we should do. So there is no black and white answer to this question. So it's a constant endeavor. And then by associating with devotees, by pleasing devotees who are very deep internally, naturally the desire will develop. So, yeah, so as um, there are so many things, nectar of instruction is there, Prabhupada's purports are there, so many things are there. But yeah, ultimately, it's an individual individual desire. What is your desire? Many times our desire today may not see today, we see after 5 years the result, but prayers are very powerful. So Raghunathas Goswami, our Prayojan Acharya, he was desiring so long to attain Lord Chaitanya's lotus feet. So Mahaprabhu told him that antar nishta, bahir vyavahar. Antar, inside you keep nishta very strong. So bahir, externally act like a normal person. So external situations will force a devotee to pray more and more intensely internally. So he's showing by his own example those internal prayers, intense internal desire manifested ultimately in being with Lord Chaitanya for so many years, intimate association of Lord Chaitanya for so many years. So that is the power of prayer. That is the power of desire. So that's what Krishna knows, the desire with which we're doing everything. So that's why I speak for myself. These days I'm praying that I need to be situated in my present situation. Bhaktivinoda Thakur also says, when you're situated in the present, then you will make progress. Forget the past that sleeps. Forget the future. Sorry, future, never dream at all. Mm. Be situated in present that art with thee. Be in thy present that art with thee, and progress thee shall call. I forgot the exact words, but basically Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, forget the past, Don't dream about the future, but be fully situated in the present, and then you'll make progress. So how do we situate in the present? When you focus on the immediate goal, like right now, for example, I'm chanting the holy names. How can I please the holy name? Pray to the holy. Right now I'm doing arti. How can I please the deity? Right now I'm dealing with the Vaishnava. How can I please the Vaishnava? So more and more one is situated, because ultimately progress and failure doesn't matter. What matters is how much you pleased. Like for example, yesterday we're going on book distribution, and everyone was saying, "I have the book, I have the book, I have." So it gets frustrating sometimes, but ultimately remember the goal. The goal is not to please these people. The goal is to actually to please Parampara. So if you try your best to please Parampara, you will get Parampara's mercy. Whether you sell 100 books or you sell no books, it doesn't matter. The same thing in every devotional activity. If you are trying to please or trying to focus on what you're doing, you will get mercy. So that's what I mean, I'm not qualified. This guy Shilungsha Pro is exemplary in this aspect, but to make progress internally, one has to be in mode of goodness. Good mode of goodness means what? One has to be in the present. One should not only be in the but absorbed in the present. That means even though past and future discussions may happen, one's present absorption should not be disturbed. That is called, that is real mode of goodness actually, which is very high. I'm not, I don't personify that. Roji, would like to add anything?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
No.
Prabhuji, can I ask something?
Yeah, sure.
Prabhuji, very nice class. Very many points to take away. Very grateful for your association. I just missed the point on where you were talking about qualities of a disciple for Shiksha and Diksha Guru. Were you referring to Narad Muni?
Yes, I was quoting the verse 1:5:24. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so I will end here. Please forgive me. I spoke beyond my realization. Not, and I please forgive if I spoke anything inappropriate. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namaha. Ananta koti vaishnava ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Ram Kishore Prabhu ki jai. Devo.